I am Batman. Average Sniper.
Hey, what's up everybody? Average Sniper here, bringing you another PUBG video. And today I want to talk to you about a topic that is kind of controversial. So I don't know if you guys know this, but for the past week or so, PUBG has been testing skill-based matchmaking on the North American PC servers. And skill-based matchmaking, if you don't know, basically means it's going to try to match you up with other people that are of similar skill. So it's going to take all your stats into account and match you up with people that have the same or very similar stats. This is a system that I have disagreed with for a long time, but there's a lot of people out there, who like it. And what it really comes down to is just different play styles and the type of enjoyment you get out of the game. So I'm going to tell you guys why I personally don't like skill-based matchmaking, and I'd like to hear from you in the comments whether it's something you like or whether it's something you don't like, and either way I want to know why, so we can get a good discussion started here. So the main reason I don't like skill-based matchmaking is because I think it takes away from the overall Battle Royale experience. Now, as we all know, PUBG is already a very sweaty game, very hard for new people to get into. And I think the only reason for skill-based matchmaking might be the first week or two that you play so that you can get matched up with other people of similar skill and help you learn the game. Then as you progress, you get matched into lobbies with random people. Some of them have really good skill, some of them have really bad skill, some of them are just average. The reason for this is because first off, I think it makes it a little more realistic. If we're talking about an island that 100 people are dropped on just randomly, it's possible that not every single one of those 100 people has the survival skills to survive, and that should be taken into account. But if we want to throw realism aside and just talk about the real reason I don't like it, it's because I don't like to play video games super sweaty. I don't want to have to play to win every time I play. I want to be able to have fun, have those funny moments, and basically just have a good time. I was watching one of Wacky Jackie's streams, and he streams on European servers, I believe, and he was talking about how if they brought skill-based matchmaking to Europe, he would probably stop playing the game altogether. And this is from someone that basically has a career playing PUBG. That's how bad some people do not want it. They don't want a super sweaty game to play. Now, let's talk a little bit more about it, because the main criticism people get that say that they don't want skill-based matchmaking, the first thing that people say is, or not everybody, but the first thing a lot of people say is, oh, you just want to play against noobs and get easy kills. And that's actually not true at all. Well, I definitely don't mind getting an easy kill here and there. I do like to work for my kills, and I do get a greater satisfaction knowing that I killed a highly skilled player. That just makes me feel better. So I do want that. But all I'm saying is I don't want every single gunfight and every single engagement to be the sweatiest time of my entire life, I would like to see that skill spread out. Maybe some guys I fight are just as good as me. Maybe some of them are not as good as me. And maybe some of them are so much better than me I get killed before I even, know what happened. And I think that's what makes multiplayer games more fun in general. Not just Battle Royale, but basically just all multiplayer games, is going into an environment where you're going up, where you'll have some games where people are just really better than you and just whoop you. You'll have some games where you're the dominant player and you're better than everybody else. And then you'll have other games that are more even because you're playing against people of your same skill. And those are probably the sweatiest games you'll ever play. It's very satisfying when you win them, but the wins will definitely be few and far between when you're playing against people that are just as good as you. So you make one mistake, you're dead. They make one mistake, they're dead, because you both are basically going to react and play the same way. Now, I've been playing a little bit on PUBG PC to kind of test the skill-based matchmaking, and it is definitely a big difference from the last time I played it, which was just a couple weeks ago before they implemented the skill-based matchmaking system. So all the footage you're seeing is from PC, and I was playing my regular play style. I decided to do mostly hot drops to basically just test the system and see what kind of players I would run into. And after each game, I would look up the player's stats that I killed to see what their skill level was like. And almost all of them had a similar skill level to me, where their kill-death ratio was between 2 and 4, and they were pretty sweaty players. I guess I could consider myself kind of a sweaty player, but at the same time, I don't play sweaty every single match. Some matches I like to run and gun and just, completely take my chances, and other matches I really like to play for the win, and you will see an example of that towards the end of the video. So this is basically just me playing like I always play, except I'm pretty much going for hot drops every time just to see the enemies that kill me and the enemies that I kill, what their statistics are. And I do have to say that playing with skill-based matchmaking definitely makes the game less enjoyable for me. Now let's talk about it from the other side. There are some players that completely get off on the sweaty experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't have anything against people that want the skill-based matchmaking, because I completely understand where you're coming from. There are certain days where I actually look forward to sweaty matches, challenging myself to get better, and basically just looking at people's stats that I kill and saying that guy has way better stats than me. I'm really proud of myself for killing him, But then again, I also play like I have nothing to prove, Obviously, there are certain days where I got stuff going on in my life and I get salty over the game, but most of the time, it's not really the game that makes me salty. It's just other things going on in life. These type of games, you probably shouldn't play when you're already feeling salty about something else, because you're just going to do dumb stuff and it's going to lead to more saltiness. And if skill-based matchmaking is in place, then you basically have to be in the perfect state of mind to play the game and do good. And let's be honest, after a long day's work, people come home, they have stress at their job or stress at school, or maybe unrelated stress, and they start playing the game. They just want to relax, unwind a little bit, and you just get owned over and over again because you're not on your tip-top best game you've ever played. And I don't feel like any video game should force you to be your absolute best just to perform well at a game, And I also think that skill-based matchmaking is going to affect new players coming into the game. So basically, let's say you have a brand new player and he or she does pretty good, gets some good kills, gets a good kill-death ratio after a week or two, and then gets put in matches with other players that have that high KD ratio. And let's be honest, a week or two is not enough to learn all the ins and outs of this game. It's going to be very difficult for new players to learn to adapt. I think that's one of the flaws in the skill-based matchmaking system as well, because as soon as your stats get a little better, it's going to put you with other players. So you might have a guy with a 2 or 3 kill-death ratio that's only been playing for 3 weeks to a month, and all of a sudden he's getting put in matches with veterans that have been playing since day 1 release 2.5 years ago. And that's the only players he gets matched with anymore. So he basically would have to have his stats drastically lowered to get back in those other lobbies. I also think it's better to learn the game when you're playing against a variety of players. When you're playing against players that are new, average, and professional, it's really going to help you understand how the game works, seeing people make those critical mistakes and seeing yourself get killed by people that have made the perfect moves, So either way, the game is still playable. I just don't think that skill-based matchmaking is necessarily the way to go, especially for a battle royale where there's so much randomization going on. You should definitely be against people of all skill levels, not just pros, not just noobs, and not just average players. I know I rambled a little bit, guys, but I hope you enjoyed the video. This last match, I decided instead of hot dropping, I would just play for the dinner. And surprise, surprise, I was able to win the dinner by playing incredibly sweaty. So sweaty that I didn't even get much satisfaction out of the dinner. There was a lot of camping, There was a lot of letting enemies go when I knew I didn't have the advantage, a lot of moving away from gunfights that I knew I didn't have the advantage in, and that's just not how I like to play, guys. So I hope you understand my opinion where I'm coming from. No hate for anyone that disagrees, but I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks, everyone. Later.